Hi guys, and welcome to jackiedis.co.uk. Now I'm here to talk to you a little bit about webinars. Often when I'm approaching working with a client on products or developing content in particular, they come to me with like 6-week programs, or they've really got a message they want to talk about, but sometimes doing an ebook there isn't enough for an ebook, or it isn't the right process to contact people. There won't be the right amount of passion or communication needed on a certain subject, and for a long time it was we had to produce things like DVDs or downloads, which still slightly limited the communication factor, that instant communication between client and personal trainer. Well, now the great wave of technology that is happening, you can now produce webinars, and webinars are literally like they're online meetings, which means it's you, and it can be 10, 20, 100, 1,000, 2,000 people in on one meeting. So you can hold your own webinar. So GoToMeeting.com is a great place that you can set up your account, and this means that you are then able to host your own webinar. So you can then have people apply, you can send out invitations for people to come and listen to what you have to say. It's a great way of building your database, because you're going to get a lot of new people that have spotted it on Facebook or social media or wherever. It might be something you've put up in the local paper and thought, I'm interested, this could help me in my fitness goals. I want to hear what this person has to say. When they register, you can then receive their email details and build your database, which is fantastic. And it also means you get to share your information. The other good news is that when people are coming onto the webinar, it can often be very intimidating to just talk straight to camera, especially when you're used to doing personal training or classes and having that interaction between you and a group of people. Webinars can actually open that up, which means that you can have people ask you questions as you're doing your presentation, which I have to say helps massively with the whole flow. And also, what you have prepared might not be quite what the people that are coming to listen really want to hear, and the more questions you get, it gives you a better idea. So you may end up with the same message but just going around it in a slightly different way. So webinars are fantastic. They're visual, they're interactive, and also they can be recorded, which means you can then either use that as a free product and a free giveaway, which is great because then you get more emails and more to build your database. Or you can then, if it's a long webinar or several webinars to make up a stage process, say a weight loss process, etc., you can then sell that bundled package of webinars and actually make yourself some profit. What you have in your head is worth a lot of money. Think of all that money you spent on your training, all those courses, all those insurances, those licenses. You're worth it. So think about the products you're trying to produce, the message you're trying to get across, and I would highly recommend giving a webinar a go, just as a freebie, as a trial, and you're just talking to camera and getting some interaction. The only slight, sometimes problem, not even a problem, just sometimes can be a little bit of slows the process down a bit, is more the technology side. You just need to get comfortable with using the webinar system and interacting. I promise it is simple, and it is a case of going around and pressing buttons and just checking the invites and everything are working. Your connection is working. And the last little tip is make sure your content flows and make sure it's relevant to your audience. And last one, and make sure it has the wow factor. It needs to be exciting. If a boring program comes on TV, what do? Switch it off. And that's exactly the same thing that people do with a webinar, because they can leave. We don't want them to leave. There may be some people that go, that's fine, but we don't want to bore people. So make sure what you've got is exciting and interesting. It's better to have a short webinar that's got impact than a long one where people are nodding off or logging off. So I hope that's helped a little bit, just giving you a bit better idea of webinars. You literally put a Google into Google and find webinars or social meetings, go on there, click on one of the websites, and it will actually talk you through the process of how to use your webinar system.